If you have just seen the case being presented by Arjan Pasma, the patient in Malawi, you saw that he mentioned the remedy crocus, and he also mentioned a remedy tuya, and a differentiation between the two he found difficult. So I will show you in this tutorial video how you can search for a remedy in the repertory or in all the materia medica. So in the top menu bar there's an icon search, or there's a sub button. So let me click here on the sub button of this icon search, and there's a search and advanced search. So this search is in fact the simple search. Here to the right are mentioned a hotkey, so all the hotkeys for these functions. But on some computers these hotkeys are difficult because you need to press the FN key and then one of the function keys. But this is also the question mark on the keyboard. And this is the advanced search, and I will show you the difference. So on the keyboard you can press the question mark and it opens the simple search. You can also select here via the local settings how this icon here at the top should behave. So the main button, should it open the simple search or should it open the advanced search? So this is the option. The toolbar search button opens the free search or the simple search, and this one will open then the advanced search. So let me close it here. Let me close this. So you saw I selected the advanced search. So if I click here on the main toolbar, it opens the advanced search. Actually, there's not much difference, because here, this button here is the simple search or free search, and here is the advanced search. And the simple search has one line where you can fill in things, so one field, and this one has several fields. So let me close it again. So let me press on the keyboard the question mark, and then I come in the simple search or the free search. Now in the left upper corner it says the current document only, and what I forgot to say is that I am starting here in the synthesis Adonis and in the full repertory view. So on the keyboard, when I press the question mark, I come here in the simple search and I start to type the remedy crocus, C-R-O. Now from this list you should not select one of these words, but you should scroll down and select where it says remedy. So let me type one more letter, one more character. And I scroll down, and here it is, Crocus, Crocus sativus, remedy. So I select that one. In the left upper corner I click on this icon to start the search, or on the keyboard I can just press the enter. So it has now found all the rubrics where the remedy crocus is present in the synthesis Adonis, and there are 2794 rubrics found. So if you work in a smaller repertory view, so let me select here, for example, classic sources Venice Siddharthan or Erik von Woensel, or the reliable sources from Gaelic. So let me select here Venice Siddhartha. So you can select any of the views. Now some rubrics are reduced. Some remedies will be excluded. In the right upper corner, let me have these two buttons selected on. And if I have this last one on, you see here a number at the end of the rubric which shows you the remedies which have been excluded from that repertory view, from that rubric. So if I open here again the search and then search again, you will see a different result. There will be some remedies here with a strike through. So it means that it found this rubric, but it is not present in that selected repertory view. So if I would select here, for example, Kent repertory, here, so that is not the actual Kent repertory, but that is all the sources of Kent in the Synthesis Adonis, plus Kent's personal additions and some corrections. So if I select that, open again the search and search again, you will see that only 1902 rubrics have been found, and you see here many have a strike through. So this number of the 1902, it is the actual number of rubrics which is present in that repertory view. So the ones with a strike through are not counted in this number. So you see now there are many more with a strike through. So let me put it here back on the full repertory view. I click on the top of the search, I search again, and you see there are 2,794 found. Now in the top here, select the current document only. Here you can change where you want to search in your RadarOpus database. Do you want to search only in the current document, which we just did, and the current document is the document where you came from. You can select all documents or all repertories, or here all references. If I select all documents, the search will be started again. So I have now here at the left first a list of the repertories which I have in my package and how often that remedy is found there. Then there are concepts, families, and here are materia medica. Now the materia medica is an indication of how many symptoms there are in that book for this remedy. So if I select here the Burke Pocket manual, if I click on it, at the right side is the remedy Crocus sativus, but this is still the search result window. If I now double click here on this chapter name, so on the remedy name, I double click, it opens that book in a separate tab. So now here's a tab of the pocket manual of Burke, and it goes to that remedy. And now you can really scroll through it. You can scroll down and up through the whole book. So this is the tab with the search result, and after I double clicked here on it, it went to a tab where that document is opened. So let me do another one. So from this list, I select here, for example, the hearing guiding symptoms. I single click on it. At the right side, you see here the search result. Now I double click here on the chapter name, the remedy name. I double click on it and it opens here the guiding symptoms, and it is at the top of that remedy. So I think that was it to search one. I think that was it to search one remedy, and through the repertory or through all your documents you have in your package. I will show you now how you can search a remedy through the repertory, but not the whole repertory, but only a section. So this here, the synthesis Adonis. This is my search, and I search here in the current document only. That then shows you all the rubrics where it is. It's 2794 in the full view. So let's say now I only want the delusion rubrics, or only the fear rubrics, and some other section. So for example, the generalities, food and drinks section. I go here to synthesis and I type here MI on the keyboard for mind, enter, and then I do fear, enter, and I go to the repertory to that main rubric. Now I drag here this rubric fear, so the main rubric fear, I drag it and I let go here on top of the icon search area. Now on the keyboard I start to type GE for the chapter generals, food and drinks, FOO, and I press enter. Enter to go here to the top. So this is the main rubric, and I drag that one also here in the search area. Now you do not need to open here this icon, but I will just show it for this tutorial video. You see there are now two sections of the repertory in it. I close it again. If I open now the simple search, so on the keyboard I press the question mark, or if you have that selected you can click here at the top on the main button and it will open the simple or free search. So I type here again the remedy I want to search for. So let's say again crocus. If I type a dot, I'm quicker here at the section of the remedy. You can type a dot or a point at the end of these abbreviations for most remedies, but not for all. For example, Hura is not an abbreviation, or Apis is not an abbreviation, and it doesn't have a dot. So I select here Crocus sativus, and if I press here enter, you see it finds here the 2794. That I don't want. I want to search only in the current search area, and the search area contains those sections which I have dragged to it. And you see now I have here the fears and I have the food and drinks. So only those two sections of the repertory. So let me go back here to the repertory. Okay, now let's say I want to do a remedy comparison. To compare two remedies, you need to open the advanced search. So if I click here on the sub button, I select here advanced search. Now you have here a field for words, you have a field for remedies, and this field I select. I type here crocus, I press enter on the keyboard and I type the second remedy. So I select here Thuja occidentalis, I press enter again that a new field opens. Now at the top here on remedies you can select what it should do, so what kind of search. Symptoms with all these remedies, so if I select that one, both remedies must be present. If I select this one, symptoms with at least one of these remedies, then either crocus or Thuja or both can be present. This is symptoms for each remedy individually, so you will get two lists. And this is symptoms which they have in common and exclusive. That will give three lists. Let me select that one. And here I select the whole repertory, so the current document. And the current document was the document you last viewed. So now there are three lists. The first list, if I click on this tab, shows where both remedies are present. So crocus and thuja are present. This tab shows where the remedy crocus is present and not thuja. So thuja may not be present in that rubric. And this is the opposite, where thuja is present and crocus may not be present. So you see that there are 9075 rubrics where thuja is present and not crocus. And this tab shows where both are present. So let me go back to the repertory. Now I want to search for a remedy, and I only want to see, for example, where crocus is a second or third degree, or for example rubrics which are not too large. So for example rubrics with not more than, let's say, 30 remedies. So on the keyboard I can open the simple search with the question mark, or I can do the advanced search. So let me do first the simple search. I type crocus again. I select crocus. Now here on this remedy name I click with the right mouse click, and then opens a window with options, with search options. I can deselect here, for example, here degree 1 and 2. Let me keep them on. Or I can select, for example, rubrics with not too many remedies. So I select this one. And I say less than or equal, what did I say, 30. Yes, so I have all degrees, but rubrics not larger than 30. I select OK. Then I start the search again. And you see I now have only 930. So of course I can reduce this again a bit more, right mouse click, and let me make here like 5, and let's not do degree 1 and not degree 2, so only 3 and possible 4. If I search then, you see there are only 8 rubrics. So the same thing you can do here in the advanced search. In the field of the remedies, I type here crocus. Now I enter one time that a new field opens, and then here on this little triangle I click and it opens the same search options. So let me do here rubrics containing less than or equal, for example, 2. So it means, or it is the only remedy in that rubric, or there may be one other remedy also present. I do OK. I start again the search. And now you see I have 166 where crocus is present, and there may be one other remedy present. And if I want to go to one of these rubrics, I double click here on the rubric and I go to the repertory to that rubric. Let me show you one more search, and that is a combination of a word and a remedy. So in the free or simple search, I will show you that first, how to do that. On the keyboard I press question mark and I type a remedy. So for example thuja, and I select here where it mentions a remedy and then a word. So for example the word injure. Is there a rubric where thuja is, and the rubric must contain the word injure. I've selected here the current document only, and that's the book where I came from. So I start to search. And you see there are 13 rubrics where the word injury is and the remedy tuya is present. The same thing here in the advanced search or the guided search. In the field of the remedy, I type here the remedy. I select tuya occidentalis. And in the field words, I can do, for example, vomit. Enter. Enter. If I press enter again, it starts the search, or in the left upper corner, I can click on the magnifying glass. And here's the search result. So I think I've covered in this tutorial video most of the types of searches you want to do.